Blessings and peace to you. This is sbfavor Thinking Podcast, and my name is sbfavor. How are you doing today? It is Thursday, June 5th, 2025. Another wonderful day. Yes, it is. It's another day to be thankful. Yes, it is. It's another day to project something good to happen. Because as I always say, if you focus on what is good, you can project something good to happen, because you do not want to sit around focused on the negative things. So focus on what is good. You can do no wrong when you focus on what is good. So focus on what is good today. Okay? If you are out there traveling about, make sure you pray, because it is so important to pray. I have to remind you to pray. And make sure you are not on your cell phones too much, because when you are in the public and you are using your phone too much, that means you are distracted. And I don't want you to be distracted. So make sure you pay attention, focus on what is good, pray, and don't be distracted. You got to stay focused when you are in the public. Don't be on your phone too much. Also, I want to remind you, if you would like to donate to this podcast, if you want to support this podcast, if you want to support what is positive and good, you can give at Cash App $SBFavor. That's right. You can give at Cash App $SBFavor, or you can give at Venmo at sbfavor. Okay? It's a good thing to give. So make sure you give. And also, I want to remind you to give to Feeding America. Feeding America is a great organization that provides food for families across the nation here in the U.S. So make sure you also give to Feeding America. You can find out more about Feeding America at feedingamerica.org. Okay? Go to their website and learn more about what they do and how they give to help families across the U.S. Okay? Well, the title of this episode is Discovering Your True Purpose. That's right, discovering your true purpose. Have you ever thought about what is your true purpose? When I was a little girl, I used to always think about, why am I here? What do I need to do? What should I do when I get old? What should I do when I get older? I used to think like that as a child. We all have thought like that. We all have thought about doing something good or something great, right? We all have thought about that. And so no matter how old you are, you can consider changing your career or just doing something you've never done before, because all of us have a purpose. When we wake up every single day, we should live according to our purpose. I believe that God wants us to enjoy our life, but I also believe that He wants us to live according to our purpose. And when you think about the word purpose, it simply means to do something that will count for something that is meaningful. That's my definition of purpose. Purpose is the opposite of what is vain, because something that has no purpose is something that is not useful, something that is vain, something that is simply not useful. So we all have a purpose. We all have a purpose according to our families. We all have a purpose according to what we do for a living. We all have a purpose according to how we spend our time every day. We have to spend our time according to purpose. And I'm not talking about walking around being all serious and crazy. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about understanding that your life has to be filled with something that is meaningful. Something that is meaningful every single day. It could be something as simple as helping someone every day. It could be something as simple as helping people in your family, right? You have people in your family that are elderly, people that might be even sick, unfortunately. And purpose is about fulfilling something that is good and doing something that is good. That's what purpose is all about. You know, when you live according to your purpose, you will always be filled with joy, because living according to your purpose is fulfilling. Yes, it is. It's very, very fulfilling. God gives us purpose. He gives us purpose because He has given us all gifts and talents and abilities to do all kinds of things. There are people that are very talented when it comes to writing. There are people that are very talented when it comes to sports. All of us have gifts and talents, different types of gifts and talents. And I believe that your gift and your talent is something that has to be used according to your purpose. You know, when I was about maybe 17, 16 years old, I started developing a passion for helping people. Yes, I started developing more of a passion for helping people. When I was about, 8 years old, I remember helping this woman that was hurt. I walked outside my house as an 8-year-old kid. I just happened to walk outside my house and I saw this lady and she was hurting because something happened to her. And when I saw that she was hurting and she was crying, I went to go get the adults. And once I went to go get the adults, my mom and whoever else was present, they of course helped the lady. But when I saw that the lady, at 8 years old, when I saw that this lady needed help because she was hurt by something, I was devastated. And when I looked at the woman, I realized in that very moment that my purpose is about helping people. And from that day forward, I just had this feeling every time I saw a homeless person, every time I saw somebody in need, I just wanted to help them. I just wanted to show them compassion. And I know that all of us have the ability to do something great, but unfortunately, sometimes things get in the way. But we don't have to allow anything to get in the way. We can focus on our purpose. We can do what is necessary so that we can simply be better when it comes to focusing on our purpose. Because God gives purpose. And when we fulfill our purpose, then we can have a fulfilling life. I told one of my students one day, because I teach English, I told one of my students, I said, if you are not sure about what you are supposed to be doing right now, make a list of everything that you love to do and make a list of everything that you are good at. So she said, okay, I will make a list. And I said, when you make that list, choose 5 things on that list that you can do right now. And she said, okay. So when she looked at that list, she realized that, okay, well, I love art and I love building things, architecture, and I love just building, being creative. And I said, well, that's what you're supposed to be doing. But it might not just be one thing that you're supposed to be doing. You could be doing multiple things. But the point of what I'm saying is this. Focus on your purpose. Understand what your purpose is. And your purpose, you will know what it is when you understand what your gifts and talents are. Because your gifts and your talents and your abilities, they align with your purpose. That's right. All you have to do is just write some things down. Think about the things you could do without even practicing. Some people are just completely, absolutely talented when it comes to singing or dancing or creating some, like I said, some type of art or writing songs. Some people are good at so many different things. And when you think about the things you are good at doing, that's part of your purpose. And when you understand that, then you will move in the direction to help someone according to your purpose. That's right. So your life journey should be filled with fulfilling your purpose. If you work a job and you hate the job and you don't like the job and you're always complaining about the job, ask yourself this question. Why are you working there? And I know most people will say, well, I got to pay bills and I got to be responsible and I have to do this and I have to do that. Well, if you ever want to live according to your dreams, start living according to your purpose. That's right. If you ever want to live according to your dreams, start living according to your purpose. And that simply means do the things according to your gifts and your talents. When you have an issue with understanding your purpose, then you need to sit down with yourself and figure some things out. If you have a problem understanding your purpose, you need to sit down and figure some things out. Engage in self-reflection. Spend time regularly thinking about what really matters to you. Journal about your passions, your strengths, your experiences, and ignite the passion that you have when it comes to the things that you love to do. Explore your passions and your curiosities and learn something new. Expose yourself to something new that you've never exposed yourself to before. I never thought that I would be teaching English. I'm a motivator at heart, but I never thought that I would be teaching. I never planned to teach. But here I am. And I love it. I love it. You know, I worked in a high school. I wasn't a teacher, but I worked in a high school and I worked with young children, and it was a great experience. And at that time, more than 15 years ago, that's when I realized I enjoyed motivating people more, because I was a step team coach. For those of you that don't know what step is a dance. Okay, I will explain that another time maybe, but look it up online. Stepping is a dance, and I was a step team coach, and during that time, all I wanted to do was just motivate the girls. It was 25, 28 girls on the team, and all I wanted to do was just motivate them. And during that time, as I motivated them and as I encouraged them to do well with their goals, that's when I realized, okay, I want to help people to go to the next level by simply motivating them. And so at 16 years old, 16, 17 years old, I started, like I said, developing more of a focus on it to help people. I didn't know how to go about it, but like I said, if I saw a homeless person or someone that was in need of something, I would try to help. But the point of what I'm saying is this. It's important to understand what your gifts and your talents are. And the more you get into that, that's where you will realize how to do what you have always wanted to do. That's right. You can do the things you've always wanted to do if you understand what your gifts and your talents are. Some people I know are changing their careers At age 40, at 35, people are changing their careers. They went to school for one thing and then they end up doing something else different later in life. I think that's awesome, to change your career, to do something you've always wanted to do. I think that's really, really awesome. We all should seek ways to serve others, because when we seek ways to serve others, then we could contribute. We can contribute to the well-being of others when we seek ways to serve others. We can make a positive difference when we seek ways to serve others. It's so important to embrace new experiences and to step outside of our comfort zones so that we can fulfill our purpose. Fulfilling your purpose could be as simple as telling someone to stay encouraged today. Because if you told someone today to stay encouraged, you are instantly helping someone to feel better or think better. So, fulfilling your purpose doesn't have to be something really, really, really big every day. It could be something as small as holding the door for someone that might be sick. It could be something as small as showing courtesy to someone to give them a parking space before you take the parking space in a shopping center. Being considerate, being unselfish instead of selfish. Fulfilling your purpose has everything to do with thinking outside of yourself. It's not only about you, it's for others. Your gifts and talents are for others. When you use your gifts in a creative way, it's really to share with others. So, think about something more you can do to serve others and to fulfill your purpose. You are not here just to take up space in the earth. You are here for a purpose. You woke up this morning. You have gifts, you have talents, you have abilities. You have a purpose. And purpose is not about gaining material things. Purpose is about using what God gave you to help and to share with someone else. Your purpose is not about how rich or how much money you can make. Because material things and money, all that stuff is just going to fade away one day. Your purpose is solely about what you can do for someone else so that they can live their purpose. Because God gave you gifts and talents. And for those of you that may not have a relationship with God, I pray you start to pray and have a better relationship with God, because He did give you gifts and talents. Because without the gifts and talents that He gave you, you wouldn't even be able to be who you are today. So you can't say you did everything yourself. God gave you the ability and the gifts and talents to be where you are today. So you need to say thank you, God. You need to tell God thank you, because He gave you gifts and talents for a purpose. That's right. And if you are someone that might be unfortunately struggling with self-doubt, all I'm going to say is this. You need to start today to change how you think. Change how you think to be more determined, more encouraged, more focused, and more confident. Self-doubt comes from the wrong type of thinking. That's right. Low self-esteem comes from the wrong type of thinking. If you are unsure about something, think more positively. That's right. And also to the overconfident person, please let humility be your friend. Because when humility is your friend, you will know how to balance between being overly confident and humbled. Because it's healthy and it's good to walk in humility. Because we don't want to be overly confident to the point now we just think we're so much and we can't help anybody or nobody. So let humility be your friend. And remember, everything starts with how you think. From the time you wake up in the morning until the time you go to sleep, everything begins and ends according to how you think. So maintenance your thought life so that you can understand the importance of living according to your purpose. And what do I mean when I say maintenance your thought life? I'm talking about monitoring and carefully considering what to think about, what is healthy and what is not healthy according to what you are thinking. Develop healthy perceptions and interpretations so that you can hear clear, you can hear the right way and see the right way. What do I mean by that? I'm talking about carefully considering what you think about. Because if you think negatively, then you will see everything through a negative lens. And if you are thinking negatively, then what you hear, you will also interpret that as being negative too. So that is why we have to focus on what is good and think more positively. It is extremely important to understand the power of your purpose, the power of this very moment that we live in right now. It's important. Don't waste your time thinking that, oh, I don't have to do anything to make it count for something. I can just do this because I just want to do it. No, use your time with wisdom and make your moments count for something to help somebody else. It could be your neighbors. It could be the stranger. It could be the person at the office. It could be the person you just saw on social media. Make your days count for something good to fulfill your purpose. And make sure you remember your gifts and your talents align with your purpose. You can do it because God gave you the ability. I hope that what I have said to you today helps you to think a little bit different. I hope that you will gravitate more to thinking positively and not negatively. I pray that you have a good day and the rest of this week is good for you. I pray that you will understand your purpose is very important. It's important to God and it is important to others because there are people waiting to hear from you. So focus on your purpose and understand that you are not here in the earth just to take up space. You are here for a purpose. And your purpose has a lot of meaning because your gifts and talents align with your purpose. So, on that note, I am going to conclude this episode of SB Favor Thinking Podcast. I thank you so much for taking the time out to listen to this podcast. I thank you so much for donating to the podcast and sharing the podcast with others. If this podcast has been in any way good to you or inspiring to you, share this podcast with others. It is important to share with others, because there are people that are going through things, and I know it's somebody you may know in your family that just need to be inspired. It could be a friend that just need to be inspired, or they just need to know that they can do well and they can make it and they can be more and they can rise above whatever it is they're going through. They need to know. Share this podcast with them. And I pray you have a good day. And like I said, the rest of this week, I pray it will be good for you. And I thank you for listening. And if you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can find me on all of those handles, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube, because on YouTube I will be doing videos and shorts and things like that. So make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube, because I put out a lot of content on YouTube. So subscribe to me there, and make sure you subscribe to me on other networks such as iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google, Apple. If you listen to the podcast in all those places, subscribe there too. And once again, I thank you for taking the time to listen. And lastly, make sure you give at Cash App, $SB Favor. And I thank you so much for your support. You have a good day.